Hi, everyone. I'm Irma from Performing Arts Forum, and I'm really glad to see you all here today. We've been delighted to work with Indigo and indeed with Heather Maitland on our Audience Insights program over the last number of years. And this whole idea about Indigo Share is really important for part of the program. So it's great that Kerry and Ellie are here today to explain a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of how it works and to answer your questions. So I'm delighted to hand over to them.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here. So my name's Kerry, as Emma said. I'm an associate director at Indigo, and I'm here with my colleague Ellie. And thank you for joining us today, whether you're here live or you're watching this on a recording, to hear a bit more about Indigo Share and how it can benefit you. And thanks to Irma and the Performing Arts Forum for inviting us to talk about it again. Some of you may already be using Indigo Share surveys when you're watching us talk, and some of you are completely brand new. So bear with me while I kind of start by outlining a bit of background for those who are completely new. So if we just go to the next slide, Ellie, if that's all right. If you aren't aware of Indigo, just to give a bit of an introduction, we're a small consultancy and we are audience specialists. So we work with organisations across the UK, across Ireland, to equip them to understand and better connect with audiences through research, audience development, and to help them develop change for their audiences. Indigo Share encapsulates our unique approach to gathering audience insight. So we want organisations like yours to have access to the data and the insight that is genuinely useful for you, but we also know it means more when we work together. So we can benchmark our individual progress, we can collaborate on change, and we can advocate more easily as a sector, so everybody wins. So Indigo Share, as a broader kind of suite of products, contains our hot topics, which began with sector-wide organisation-driven research in the pandemic. So we did projects like After the Interval and Missing Audiences, and some of you may well have taken part in those. And most recently included Tomorrow's Audience, about first-time attenders, and Act Green about sustainability. And again, some of you might be familiar with those. And if it is something you're interested in, reading that sector-wide research, all the reports are freely available on our website. So do go have a look after this. So then the other part of Indigo Share and why we're really here today to talk about it is our post-visit surveys. So the aim of these is it's about allowing you to gather data on your audiences and then compare these results to others so that it increases the usefulness of that insight. And that's really what we're going to focus on today. And we've been working closely with Performing Arts Forum for some time on this. And indeed, some of you may well have heard from Katie Rains, our CEO, currently in Greece, at the Waterford Gathering or at previous marketing forums before. So thanks to the support of the Performing Arts Forum, Indigo Share uses that collective model that I talked about to offer a completely free, standardised post-visit survey to Irish venues and touring companies. And the aim of it is that it's easy to use, it's off the shelf, and it's tried and tested. At the moment, we've got 16 organisations in Ireland already using the surveys and several more set up and ready to go. And between them, they've actually already gathered over 8,500 responses in 2024 collectively. So you can see the benefits of that larger data set in terms of what we can then do with analysis of Irish audiences. And we would love more of you to take advantage of this opportunity. It's easy, honestly, it is free, and we honestly think it will help you. So today's short session is a bit of a demo of the Indigo Share Ireland post-show surveys, what they are, how they work, and what you get. And we'll probably spend about 15 minutes taking you through the basics, and then there'll be plenty of time for any questions. And if you are currently using it and have any questions about that, please also feel free to ask those. We're recording the session, as we said at the beginning, and we'll also send around the slides afterwards. So Indigo Share is, as we say, about this collective approach to audience insight. So all of us gathering data that's essential to our own organisations, but in such a way that we can build really useful benchmarks that all of us can benefit from. So we only gather data that actually tells you something useful, and you can see the results live as they come in, so you don't have to wait for a report. And in terms of the survey design, hopefully there's no bored audiences answering pointless questions that we don't even need. And by using Indigo Share surveys, hopefully you can make your life easier because we've done all of the thinking, we've consulted with the sector, with your colleagues, and we've done all of the setup. So it's dead easy to get you going in surveying audiences quickly. One of the things that we hear from people who use Indigo Share surveys the most, and that includes both in Ireland and across the UK, is the benchmark. being able to tell if you are performing differently from others in the sector. And as the number of Irish organisations using Indigo Share surveys grows, so does the richness of that benchmark, which is why we're so keen for you all to get on board. And as a reminder, it is free, so why not? The other difference with Indigo Share is that we're here to support you. We've all worked in arts organisations here at Indigo, so we understand the challenges that you face, including just the time to get something like this going. Of course, you're going to know your organisations best, but it can be hard to find time to reflect. And this is why it's great that Performing Arts Forum does all of these kinds of marketing forum sessions that give you the space to reflect on your findings. And the annual benchmarks that we create for Indigo Share in Ireland allows you to compare your results to that wider data set and use those forums then as a space to reflect, ask questions, and then plan for the future. So I'll hand over to Ellie for the next section.
Yeah, so what does being part of Indigo Share Ireland actually look like for you? So it consists of the Audience Experience Survey, which is a comprehensive post-visit survey designed to be sent to audiences shortly after they have attended. The survey has been developed and tried and tested for 15 years and is continually improved. So in development of this, we think about audience insight through 4 lenses, which we call our total insight model. So first we look at your audience profile, so who are they? Then we look at their behaviour, both in terms of their relationship with you and their relationship with arts and culture more broadly. We then look at their motivations and attitudes. And finally, we look at the impact you have on them personally and on the community and economy around you. So here is an example of what the post-show survey actually looks like. So this is me filling out as an audience member, having just been sent the survey in a link through an email from my local theatre, for example. So respondents won't need to fill out details about their visit, as this will automatically pull through, which we'll talk about in a second. You can see there that it shows them how far they've got left in the survey. And this is a desktop view, but it does automatically adapt to mobile and tablet devices. So in terms of viewing that data that comes through, we supply you with a link to the live data display, which you can see on the screen here. And this pulls through in real time, so it updates when those responses come through. So yeah, this is an example. This is just some test data that we've got in here. So let's outline what you now need to do if you're interested in taking part. So first, you'll need to register. In a second, we'll provide a link where you can enter some details about your organisation. This will then allow us to set up your survey and send you that link through, as well as the viewing link, which you'll receive within a few days of signing up. Then secondly, you'll need to have a think about which shows you'd like to survey. So we're interested in gathering data from audiences who have attended any shows you may have in your current season. You are welcome to set up the survey on your full programme if you want to. And then the next step is to set up a post-visit email campaign to include the survey link in and get that out to audiences. So the survey is designed to capture the performance name and date that they attended automatically. So this is key for us to be able to view aggregated results across different venues when surveying for touring companies. So I think there might be 1 or 2 touring companies on this call today. But if you have any questions about this, please do shout at the end. But essentially, as the touring company, you would tell us the name of the show and which venues it's touring to. And then we simply create a viewing link for you that shows you your aggregate results. So in terms of getting that email campaign set up, we've created a support us call with TicketSolve, which we will provide the link of in a second. This outlines exactly how to do this, and the TicketSolve team are always on hand to help with that. So if you're not on TicketSolve, you might be wondering, we do have integrations with other leading ticketing systems. including Spectrix, Tessitura, and Tixley. Just let us know when you sign up if you're not on TicketSolve, and we can send you the relevant documentation for this. So getting the survey out to audiences is also made straightforward by us sending you a template email that you can adapt to make sound like you and to sort of put that in your voice. Then finally, so the fourth step, you're then able to see your results come through. So you can use these findings to inform programming, marketing, campaigns, as well as service improvements. And then we will be producing a benchmark report in February of next year for the calendar year of 2024. And when that time comes around, you'll be able to compare your own results through that link to this report. So I've just included a little video here of the support article with TicketSolve. So it shows you exactly what that link format will be, exactly where to insert it into the email template. And they've also got a how-to video there as well. And I think Kerry's putting that link in the chat. Perfect. So what's next? So essentially, the more data you have to compare against the overall benchmark, the more useful it's going to be. So if you sign up and get going before the end of August, you can get a full 6 months of data before we present that benchmark report back to you. So really making the most of Indigo Share for you. So as some of you might be aware, we did run a small pilot of this at the end of last year with one tour called the Super Blogger Tour. And the pilot was a great success. So here's some feedback we got from a couple of those organisations that took part in this pilot. So thank you to Lisa from Town Hall Cavern and Aaron from the Super Blogger Tour for such positive feedback. So I'll hand back to Kerry now.
Thank you. So if you are interested, if that whets your appetite as someone who hasn't used it before, do fill in the form. I've put the link in the chat, so you should be able to see that, or you can scan this QR code to access it. There's no obligation if you fill in the form. So, if you fill it in, we're not going to say, that's it, you're committing. But what it does mean is that we can start the conversation with you, make sure that you've got everything you need, get you set up, and then obviously after that point, answer any additional questions that you've got. So you'll see the form is quite straightforward. We just need your contact details, a bit of information about your organisation, nothing too taxing, we promise. And once you're signed up via that, you'll hear from us within a few working days with your survey link and then your viewing link and a reminder on that information about how to get set up with automation. So that's our summary of information. Thanks for listening. I'm now going to ask for any questions. We'll keep the recording going if that's okay, because I think the people who are watching the recording might benefit from the questions. So if you want to put them in the chat rather than speak for that reason, or you want to keep your camera off, then please do. Otherwise, please feel free to jump in with any questions that you've got. In fact, Ellie, would you mind stopping sharing? Because then it's a bit easier to sort of see everybody. Perfect.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Anyone have any questions?
We covered everything.
Maybe people would like to go and get some lunch.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a question then. In the meantime, can you put your hand up or a thumbs up if you think, if you're currently using, if you're here and you're currently using Indigo Share surveys, just so we get a sense of if there's anyone here in the room who's using them. And then what about anybody who isn't currently using them, but is now thinking maybe they might fill in that form this afternoon? Let's put you on the spot, making you declare your interest. If you're not sure, then don't answer that. I need to put a hand up. Lovely. Before we finish then, I'm not going to force you to stay here if there aren't any questions. You could always drop us a line and ask any questions that you've got that suddenly pop into your head in an hour, or when you go to fill in the form and you think, oh, I didn't realise X, Y, and Z. Just drop us a line. That's no problem. And yeah, thanks very much for being here to listen.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a million. Thank you.
Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much.